for that. What I learned working in Michelin Star kitchens is simple ingredients that pair well with lamb: anchovy, caper, lemon, mint, parsley, coriander, crispy potatoes. This is a great summertime dish. You don't need to roast the lamb in the pan like I'm doing today. You could also do it on the grill. That's very nice too. First thing we're gonna do is start with the eggplant. Okay, so I've got different size eggplant here. I've got some long, skinny ones and some sort of traditional dark Italian style eggplant. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel these ones because the skin's a little bit more firm, and the other ones I'm gonna kind of leave whole. So I have a flat pan on here. It's some pretty decent surface area. I'm gonna start getting it hot because we're gonna saute it. Okay, so I just wanna kind of cut the tops off the eggplant in half. And with these, I'm just gonna take my knife and peel it. You could use a peeler for this too. When I cook eggplant, I like to peel it with my knife just because the skin's a little bit tough. A little bit of skin on isn't the end of the world. Just knock the skin down, knock it off. Don't be shy. So, what I'm gonna do with these is just cut them down into smaller pieces, sort of in quarters. So we're just gonna use one of these ones, these skinny ones, okay? And these I just wanna cut down like this. Okay, we got our pan on getting nice and hot. What I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of salt and put it over the aubergine like that. Give it a little mixy. I'm gonna go in with olive oil. This is sort of more of a high smoke point olive oil. So you can cook at a higher temperature. All right, and you just wanna get those in the pan and start getting some color on them. You can do this puree by deep frying the eggplant, which is arguably more delicious, but you don't have to. You could also roast them in a pan. Just get some color. You kind of want deep color, deep flavor. Okay, get those roasting. While they're going, I'm gonna start getting some onion ready to get in there too. So just white onion. Cut down nice and small. 1 clove of garlic. Your pan, you want it to be medium to high, not too hot. Like I said, you're looking for deep color, deep flavor. If it's too hot, they're gonna start coloring too quickly and sort of burn. You don't really want that. I'm gonna roast them. Okay guys, so our aubergine's pretty much where we want it. All right, look at the color in there. It's deep, they're starting to get soft, caramelized, delicious. We put just salt on there so far and olive oil, okay? Now we're at the stage where I'm gonna go in with onion and garlic. Onion and garlic's just gonna make it taste really nice, basically, very simple. What you wanna do is kind of go in with that onion and garlic and let that start cooking down a little bit as well. Perfuming the pan, give it a little bit more olive oil if you need to. And I'm just gonna let that sort of start cooking together. In the meantime, I'm gonna start making my sauce. So I got parsley, I've got mint, and I've got fresh coriander. And basically, I'm just gonna kind of get that all in together. Remember, with the coriander, you can actually cut down the stems. The parsley, you want just leaves, and the mint, you want just leaves as well. Okay, and this sauce is just gonna be like this nice, fresh, green element to the top of the plate. Mint and lamb is classic flavor combination, very delicious. They pair very well together. What I wanna do with these herbs is just start chopping them down, nice and fine. Take all your herbs, roll them up into a little bundle. All right, run your knife through it, bang, 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 bang. And this can be a bit rustic. We don't need to go super, super fine with these. Okay, that's pretty much good. Don't want to go super fine. Now we also have capers and anchovy. Like I said, anchovy and lamb go very, very good. Capers, little salty, briny pops of flavor. Chop the capers down. Again, a little bit rough. Anchovy, nice and fine. You don't need a lot of anchovy. Like I said, 1-2 anchovy fillets is more than enough. It's just gonna give it that like deep umami flavor that you're looking for. Stands up to the lamb. It's very nice. Try to crush it up a little bit. Like, look at my knife. Anchovy paste. Okay, scrape that bitch up, get it off your knife. Onions and garlic are getting close. The smell coming out of that pan is incredible. Now, once the onion and garlic starts to soften up a little bit, go in with the liquid, okay? You could use, I'm gonna use chicken stock because you need chicken stock and a little bit of cream to make the puree with it. You could also put white wine in here. White wine would be quite nice. Going with chicken stock. Let that chicken stock come up to a boil, okay? And I'm gonna transfer it into a pot. Now, you could do the first step in the pot, but the issue is the surface area in the pot is not enough. When you're cooking the aubergine, you want to have surface area in the pan so that it all caramelizes and cooks beautifully, right? And then you transfer it to a pot because then you're making a sauce, right? Now, when we used to do this, I was working at a restaurant in Toronto called Auberge du Pommier. We had this aubergine puree on the menu. Like I said, we did it fried. We would take the aubergine and salt it, like I did at the beginning, let it sit a little bit longer, 45 minutes to an hour, and let the salt start drawing out some of the moisture from the eggplant, taking out a little bit of the bitterness. Then we put it in the deep fryer, fry them bitches until they get all nice, beautiful, caramelized everywhere. Take them out of the fryer, drain them very well, and then we'd get it into a pot with some stock, some cream, some allium, and basically cook it down and then puree it. You could also smoke the eggplant too if you want, like a fried smoked eggplant puree is very nice as well, okay? So I'm gonna let that cook. I want the onion and garlic to get nice and soft. In the meantime, in between time, what I'm gonna do is start cooking my lamb, okay? So I've got these 2 beautiful lamb chops here from Alan. Shout out Alan, I love you. Now, when you're cooking protein, guys, it's important you let the protein come to room temperature before you cook it. You wanna let it sit out of the fridge for a little while and start to come down to room temperature. Reason why, it's like Kevin Hart says, reason why, if the center of the meat is cold, the heat dispersion coming from the outside and going in is gonna take longer. And you're gonna start to get gray meat on the outside, and it's not gonna cook as nicely and as evenly as you want it to. So make sure your meat's sitting out, resting out of the fridge, okay? On the lamb, I'm gonna just put some salt on all the sides. These are nice, thick cut lamb chops, okay? There's bone on here. There's a little bit of bone attached to it. I'm gonna leave the bone on when I cook it. I like cooking meat with the bone on because it protects the meat. It makes cooking a little bit longer, but it makes cooking a lot more even, and it protects the meat from overcooking, so you end up with like really nice, soft, tender meat. Cooking meat with the bone on holds the shape, the natural shape of that cut of meat. It actually holds it together so that when you cook it in the protein set and you carve it off the meat, you end up with like a nice portion that's reminiscent of what that cut of meat actually is. Protects it and keeps the natural shape. Okay, again, high smoke point olive oil. Okay, this oil can get hot without getting bitter. Okay, I've got my lamb seasoned generously with salt and pepper. What I want to start doing is start cooking it on the fat side. Okay, and you really want to caramelize that fat. Give it the color it deserves, because you want the fat to render. You want to be able to eat that fat cap because it's super delicious. If you don't cook the fat enough and you don't render it enough, it's not going to be as palatable when it's time to eat it. So I like to start on the cap, just roast it. You're doing this in the summertime outside, you have a grill, you have a charcoal grill, even better, great flavor. We got our puree, okay? Check it out. Chicken stock, onion, garlic, starting to get nice and soft. Eggplant starting to get nice and soft. I'm gonna go in with some cream. Cream's gonna start cooking down, thickening up a little bit. Use the edges of the pan. Press it down. Medium to high, guys. Medium to high. Probably want to cook it for about a minute and a half on both sides, and you're just looking for color. Nice, deep, roasted color. Press it down. Make sure you get even caramelization everywhere. Hey, look at that. I'm gonna finish this with some butter in the pan, but before you put butter, make sure you get kind of the flavor that you're looking for, the color that you're looking for. Once you put the butter in the pan, you're really monitoring the temperature of the butter so the butter doesn't burn. Minute and a half on the first side, flipped it, now cooking the second side. Again, give it a little gentleman's press. Healthy knob of butter. Thyme and garlic. Garlic is a clove with the skin on, crushed. The skin's gonna just protect the garlic a little bit and start perfuming the pan. You could also put rosemary in here. if you have it. I actually do have it. Rosemary and lamb, another great flavor combination, classic flavor combination. Now look, you're just basting it. You're just basting the lamb. Now remember, the lamb's not massive. It's not super, super big. So you don't want to cook it too long in the pan. Look at that. Beautiful roasted lamb. Take it out of the pan, onto a rack. Anytime you roast protein in a pan and cook it in the oven, cook it on a rack. Don't let that juice, don't let the liquid spill out of the protein and get on the tray. And then now you've worked so hard to get all this flavor, you've worked so hard to get all this color, and then you're gonna put it on a tray and it's gonna start pissing out liquid. Well, if you don't put it on a rack, it's gonna piss out liquid, it's gonna sit in its own liquid and start to bubble. That's not what you want. You wanna keep that nice roasted flavor all the way around and also have even heat distribution that comes under the meat and on top of the meat. Hope and try not to drop it on the floor. Okay, so that's gonna go in the oven for probably, there's a bone in there, so it's gonna take a little bit longer. I'm gonna start with 5 minutes. I'm gonna see where that takes us, okay? 375 degree oven. Now I've got this pan, it's got some butter in it. I'm just gonna get rid of it because I'm gonna cook the potatoes in there after. Got my pan getting hot, back on the stove for the potatoes. Okay, I've got salt, water, a little bit of salted water for the green beans. Okay, I'm gonna drop a portion of green beans in there. You start cooking them nice and gently. Potatoes. Got red skin potatoes. I like red skin potatoes because you can cook them with the skin on, and they just have a beautiful flavor. If you have a mandolin, use a mandolin for this step. It's gonna make your life a lot easier, but I'm just gonna cut them down into slices. Nice and thin. This is sort of a take on fried potatoes and eggs that my grandfather used to make me when I was a kid. Nice and thinly sliced potatoes, cooked in a pan with olive oil. Crispy, delicious. Now, pan's hot, olive oil, potatoes in. On the potatoes, a little bit of salt. Get them roasty. Okay? For the potatoes, you want, again, medium to high. And our puree is just about there. Give it a little taste. And with the puree, you're kind of looking for the cream to thicken up a little bit. You don't want to blitz this and it's really, really thin and it pisses out all over the plate. You kind of want it to hold together quite nicely. You're kind of looking at the amount of vegetable in the pan to the amount of liquid and trying to find a nice balance. Puree. I'm gonna add a little bit balsamic vinegar. Off the heat. Take your hand blender. Nice and smooth. It's a little bit thin, guys, still, so I'm gonna pop it back on the heat. Keep cooking it down so it thickens up a little bit. Green beans are done. Green beans come out. On the green beans, this is my mom's trick, and it's delicious. A little bit of fresh garlic. A little bit of good quality olive oil. And white wine vinegar. That's how my mom cooks green beans, and it's delicious. Really, really good, really simple. Potatoes are almost there. Lamb came out of the oven. Okay, it's now resting. Lamb, I'm going for about medium. Okay, I like cooking lamb to medium. I'm just gonna take the rest of that clove of garlic and knock it into our sort of gremolata. In that gremolata, I'm gonna go olive oil, good quality olive oil, lemon zest, not too much, lemon juice. So we have lemon juice, we have olive oil, we have chopped herbs, anchovy, lemon, a little bit more oil. So I'm just cooking this puree just so it thickens up a little bit. That's right about where we want it. Got our eggplant puree, roasted eggplant. Got my grandfather's fried potatoes. Got my mother's green beans. And last but not least, Alan Snelling lamb, White Sand Homestead with our gremolata sauce. Again, guys, very simple, kind of rustic. All ingredients that I got at the farmer's market this morning. Summer lamb dish, crispy potatoes, poached green beans, eggplant puree, little gremolata sauce on top. Thank you, Alan Snelling, White Sand Homestead, for the amazing lamb. Guys, follow for more if you want to see more elevated home-cooked dishes. I'm a professional chef, and I'm bringing you guys some classic recipes done simply. Follow, subscribe, like. It really helps the channel if you do this stuff. It really helps me be able to keep putting this content forward. So if you enjoy it, leave a comment, let me know. Tell me what you want to see more of so I know to focus on those types of videos next. And so let's give it a try. Let's see. Yoshi's giving me shit because I told him make something easy that you can make at home. I texted him last night. He goes, oh, okay. He comes in, I've got a 5-component dish. Yeah, he's like... Wow. Me. Cut.